volunteer?
With the skills of a new type of cheese, but we actually need to ask which of the co-ops want to do that
okay.
in their process.
And right now there's one type of cheese?
Yeah,
the white cheese?
White cheese, fresh cheese, and mozzarella cheese.
Okay. So interest in maybe the yellow cheeses?
Well, no, but into like, can you make cheddar cheese?
Okay.
Or can you make, you do make mozzarella right now for pizza industry. But can you make cheddar? Can you make Swiss?
Okay.
Can you make any of the other types of cheeses other than mozzarella or fresh?
Okay.
Right now there's essentially no aging of cheeses. So
because of the cost.
Okay.
Because of the cost. Because they have to storage the cheese.
Right.
So once they produce the cheese, they want to sell it to take it back to money.
Get the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the money back.
And that's the same problem in the U.S. The longer cheese is aged, the higher the cost because you have to pay for storage. But the person that made it is getting his money. But I guess the issue would be to give a bigger variety of cheese, which would help the export market, because most other people don't like what we call fresh cheese. Mozzarella is mainly for pizza, and that's essentially a fresh cheese, so there's no aging issue.
Mi nombre es Carlos Luna, soy el jefe de la planta industrial. Nosotros lo que estamos a cargo aquí de lo que es el acopio, lo que es la producción, lo que es el laboratorio. Acá tenemos el responsable del laboratorio. Estamos acopiando por día 20.000 galones por día. Todo esto parte para la producción de queso y vendemos un 30% a las plantas como centro market.
Bacteria tests are done with here it says temperature of the milk as we brought it in, 27.9 degrees. Counts down how many seconds before it completes the next bank of tests. Bacteria tests are methyl blue, which is what was used in the U.S. for many, many years. Kind of the standard. It takes time, but it's accurate on determining bacteria, evaluating bacteria counts in milk, whether it was right from the cow or from the transfer station or any point along. The biggest problem in all the milk is that how long does it spend before it's cooled, and that's what aggravates the bacterial issue. The acid, that is, it's already turned sour and then cannot be used in cheese for commercial sale, grocery store, that drinking milk or any export.
Alcohol test.
Alcohol tells them
sour milk.
And also tells them why.
Is this, and you said the grading of the milk is at the here or?
Here.
Yes, grading is here.
receiving area. This is for milk coming in direct from a farm. Most of the milk received here is received in a bulk tanker coming from the transfer station. It has already been chilled to approximately 40 degrees F. Here, remember, everything you're doing is going to be C, so be ready to do your conversions to centigrade. Milk is brought in either a 40-liter aluminum container or a 40-liter plastic container designed for transporting milk. The receiving tank will be inside the building, but they'll be opening the can here, tallying the total quantity of milk. They may do a test at this point for what they call acid, which is sour milk. It's a real quick test, takes about 10 seconds. They might do another test for water added, which is again about a 10-second test. And that'll determine do they dump the milk or refuse the milk. And that does happen because of water addition or because of what we call acid or sour milk already, which means it's been at high temperature for too long. And that milk will generally then fall into the third category, the lower price category, and that will be made into cheese for local consumption, but not for sale in a store or a restaurant or for export. Can washing, lavado de cantera. Some facilities have can washing, some don't. This is not really what we call a collection or transfer station. This is really more of a processing plant. So milk leaving here is going into drinking milk and ice cream in Managua. Or it's going into cheese right here. So there's no grade 3 milk brought into this facility. Grade 3 milk would be sorted at the local field collection station and would never be chilled. So milk coming in here, all in tanker is already chilled at the collection station. Collection stations have been a major help in getting temperature down. You can't cool milk on the farm. I think we could cool it slightly, but the problem is the water coming out of the ground here is already at 25 degrees C, or 77 degrees, and it would help to take the milk from body temperature down to 77, but it's still going to be, from the time the cow is milked, it's going to be 3 hours before that milk is really refrigerated. But you can't refrigerate on the farm. That I'm stuff that can't happen. But I think we can use water on the farm to cool. How the cans are washed. You're doing it under a roof. When it's raining, you've got everything coming down out of trees or anything else, so that you're protected that way. You can supply them with adequate water of a known quality to wash cans. You can supply them with the soap. So a can washing facility doesn't add labor to this facility. It somewhat reduces the milk hauler's labor, but it improves the quality of can washing, and I think that's really the purpose here. The cost of this is an exotic one with a fence around it. So you can keep birds out. But you don't need that. So out in the transfer station, the can washing, all it has to be is under a roof. So it could be a concrete slab with a steel roof over it. And transfer stations do have can washing, but I think it's something we have to encourage across the board to control the quality of can washing. And right now, an awful lot of the milk haulers, which are a contract hauler, maybe hauling for 10 farmers, paid by the farmer to haul his milk, they're washing cans back at home or maybe behind a gas station, and you can't control the quality of how they're doing it, or the soap, or how much water, or where to get the water, and I think that's the answer. It's a low-cost method of improving the process. These are the milk transporters, and now they'll be washing their cans here And then those cans all have to go back to the farm this afternoon because there's only one set of cans.
Okay.
All milking is done in the morning between about 5 a.m. and about 6:30 a.m. And milk starts pickup about 6:30. But this is a well-controlled facility because one, you're under a roof, so it's not raining on you while you're trying to do this. You have soap, you have the scrubbing, kind of an abrasive plastic, but they work very effectively. You can see smudges and mud on the cans. Yep, they've been dragged through mud before they ever got here, but that's the purpose, is clean them up, get them back to the farmer, and get ready for tomorrow.
It's coming straight from the farm. And they get paid by the farmers to go, we similar in the United States, But it's not refrigerated.
It's not.
None of the time.
Yeah.
The inside of the receiving area for this plant, milk is brought in already cold. As you can see, it's all stainless, it's modern equipment, it's monitored well, all refrigerated. Big compressor room behind the building with the compressors. We'll walk over this way. This is the receiving tank. So milk cans come in, they're dumped into this tank, just one big tank. It's not really two separate tanks here. In the field transfer stations, usually there's only one receiving tank, but they're always off the filter over the top of it. I have never really seen any dirt in these, but that's the purpose of it. I believe all the cloths are washed and reused in the field and here. It's brought in by bulk tanker truck, just a straight truck, coming from a field collection station. Milk is already at about 6 degrees, 8 degrees C, so it will be received in a pipe or pumped with a pipe into these tanks. Everyone with white boots, good, well dressed or working around milk. So everyone here is well trained on cleaning procedures, handling procedures. That part is done well. I wanted to try to point out the milkstone issue. I'm not a milkstone expert, but every tank, every can I've looked in, every tank I've looked in, receiving tanks in the field, storage tanks in the field, I've seen some degree of milkstone. I was using ultraviolet flashlight. I've seen a little bit here, very little. I think it's something that should be addressed in transfer stations, and I think it is an issue in can cleaning, and that's why I was kind of emphasizing the can cleaning issue. Transfer stations and this station use ice bank cooling. So the big white tanks you see here are banks of ice water and blocks of ice that are formed around the refrigeration coils to build up a big thermal reserve, I guess, to help in the cooling process when a large quantity of milk arrives. They work very effective at transfer station because it keeps the size of the compressors smaller and levels out or lowers the peak electrical load. Electrical supply is very limited. They all use flash coolers. The transfer station flash cooler is very small. Here's a very large flash cooler. It's taking ice water from the ice banks, and then any milk is run through, and the milk is immediately the temperature of the ice bank. Same thing we would do in any U.S. operation. Building is well controlled as far as there are I haven't seen really major fly problems. Yeah, you once in a while see it fly, but I think I've seen that probably in the U.S. but the outside facilities are kept quite clean. Receiving dock will be typically at a transfer station, will be washed off after every receive, because the guys that are setting those cans off the trucks have mud on their shoes. The cans might have mud on them because they were transported by horse or donkey. The milking was in a lot of mud and dirt and manure. All cheese sold for commercial use in stores and restaurants, pizza industry, all for export is pasteurized. This is the pasteurizer, and then can go into the cheese setting bags. They can heat or cool any of the vats with hot water, cold water, boiler. They can do basic strainers, moving curds, cutting curds. Whey off. The whey usually goes back to a farmer and is fed for pig feed and chickens. Is any of that go into any more processing of whey products? Okay. Oh, basically for
feeding other animals.
Feeding other animals.
Even the calf.
This is the main room for pressing cheese. You see the sanitation is stressed all through the plant. Instructions on how to wash your hands on working on any of this. All the boxes that can be used in the presses, and then the rest of the room is tables for loading the boxes and the presses themselves. You can see some of the boxes in the presses have a good sized refrigeration room here for any completed cheese. That's right in this area. Okay, this is the packaging and labeling room, so they can bring out any type of shape of container of cheese. They can do vacuum pack. Here's an example of the label already on the bag. So fresh cheese, that's what the majority of it is. It's a white, soft cheese. Typically, cheese is eaten at almost every meal, all through Nicaragua. It's a very important part of the diet. Different types of packaging.
The reason why this is because they sell the cheese they export. They sell it in blocks.
Okay.
100 pounds or 80 pounds. So
and it's exported for pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza. It's very good mozzarella. So there's an interest to expand to other types of cheese.
This is the main cheese, more liquid.
Okay.
That's the main cheese they export.
Okay.
It's dry and soft.
Okay. So the type of cheeses that they would be interested in are what, Bob?
Anything that would be, I would think one might be cheddar. Because cheddar is kind of a worldwide popular cheese, and like for the tourist industry, as that builds up, then tourists are going to not be familiar with fresh cheese. They're not going to particularly like it, but everybody's familiar with the cheddar cheese or some of those types. So
it's kind of a specialty cheese.
Any kind of specialty cheese, yeah.
Now, Ronaldo, right now, do you have cooperatives that are interested in that?
Yeah.
That are okay. And so the issue would be finding a place to store the cheese
place and the market.
Okay.
We have to see. I mean, if it's going to be a national or a local market or international.
So kind of a market analysis would be good.
Market analysis at the same time with a new type of cheese.
So having someone come with some marketing skills would be good too.
Strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, of how to make the cheese, and then who you're going to sell it to, or how you're going to sell it, and how big should the package be.
So it could be two different people, one with the skill to make the cheese, another with marketing experience to help with,
The cheese market.
yes, exactly,
Cheese market.
to do the cost-benefit analysis and logistics.